Hello, folks. My name's Bill Armstrong. I am going to be in charge of your Math 1650 College Algebra online class this summer. I thought what I'd do is I would run you through some of the basics here, what we will be using for the vast majority or the entirety of the course, the Pearson product, MyMathLab. So at this time, you should have received several emails from me. And in the third email that I sent to you was a URL to this link, to this video that you're watching right now. That's going to give you a quick run through of the Pearson product that we're using to learn the college algebra. So here I am. This is the course homepage. And here, the first thing I thought we'd look at the course homepage is when you come here, every week I am going to post announcements. And let's go ahead and take a look at the first week's announcements. So, I come over here to the left pane and I click on announcements. And here's the week 1 announcements. So this is to give you an idea of what my announcements will look like. And I will post the announcements every Sunday, early Sunday morning. So here we are, this announcement. I start off, you only see this in the week 1 announcement, this very brief welcome, welcoming you to the Math 1650 College Algebra online course. And notice here that I'm saying we should start, or you should start by clicking on the course information link at the left of this page and printing out the following 5 documents. So we're going to click over here and print out those 5 documents. I'm gonna look at that in a minute. I just kind of want to run through the rest of what a typical weekly announcement would look like. So we'll come back and we'll look at these 5 documents in a minute. So the week 1 announcements from Monday, June 9th to Sunday, June 15th. Generally speaking, what you will see in my weekly announcements will be, a table, so to speak, letting you know the sections you should be looking at, some bullet items on, little reminders, do the homework. And then I will give a list of the homework to practice exercises to prepare for quiz 1. And so these are the sections that you should have looked at the eText, and I'm telling you what exercises to do and on what eText screen the exercises begin. Here later on in the video, we're going to look at the eText. So, I'll run you through all this stuff once again. At the as we scroll down through the week 1 announcements, you can see there are due dates and notes. There is a reminder. Quiz 1 is available in the Online Quizzes tab. I remind you the quiz can be repeated up to 3 times, but once you open a quiz, you have to complete it. So it doesn't matter which attempt it is, the first, second, or third attempt. Once you start that attempt that's opening the quiz, you have to complete it in that session. There's no time limit to complete each quiz once you start to take it. There is a reminder that the solutions for quiz 1 can be submitted anytime before the deadline for quiz 1, which is Friday the 13th at 11:55 p.m. A reminder that there are no makeups or extensions or deadlines or extensions on the deadlines for the online quizzes. And then here this first week I tossed in a useful tip, but I want to come down to the rest of this, that quiz 1 is due Friday, June 13th. You shouldn't stop for the week, because after you complete quiz 1, I'm saying go ahead and get started on the next sections that will be on quiz 2, which is sections 1.6 and 1.7. And again, I follow it with a table giving you some homework to practice exercises. So this is like the general flow of what a weekly announcement will look like. I will list up here what week it is. Here it says week 1 announcements, the dates, and the sections you should be doing, a reminder on due dates, and then if there's any more material to do after a given due date. So that's your overview of a weekly announcement. Now let's come back here because I said we would go look at the course information link, these 5 documents that, well, you really need to print out. So if I come over here, I click on course information, and here are, well, there's 6 things here, but I'm just going to go through each one real quickly because I know you're going to print them out because I said to print them out. Online orientation. Let's look at this. So a PDF's opening, and let me scroll to the top. Quick information, introduction. There's my name, Bill. Documents to have in hand. You're reminded again to print out the course syllabus. All right. You're also reminded to print out the academic calendar. You're reminded to print out homework to practice exercises, and you're reminded to print out the protocol for sending email. So at this time, you've seen 2 times, first in the weekly announcements that we just looked at, and here in the online orientation, there are items that I really want you to print out and have in hand. So they must be important. So please print them out and have a hard copy of them in a folder or wherever you keep important documents as it pertains to this class. Let's see what I have here. Keeping up to date. Yeah, up-to-date class information I'll post weekly in the announcements area of our MyMathLab website. And I just showed you where that was. We'll look at it again. The announcements will include reminders on weekly section coverage, any homework, due dates, course tips, etc. Announcements are posted on Sunday, and they will tell you what's due for the subsequent or the following week. And, some tips on how to get help. Folks, do not hesitate to send me an email. This is my email address, warmstrong@lakelandcc.edu. Send me an email if you have questions, if you've really worked through something and you're just not quite getting it. Don't hesitate to send me an email. Before you do, make sure you're familiar with my protocol for sending email. Of course, you can always come to campus and drop into the Math in Minutes table, and that's located in the Tutoring Center, which is in room A1044. And you could always set up a tutor. A personal appointment with a tutor is no cost at Lakeland. More highlights in the online orientation document that we're looking at right now. You're going to have 3 tests during the summer and a final exam. They're roughly, every 2 weeks. Exams are taken on a drop-in basis at the LCC Testing Center. Dates during which the exams can be taken is listed on the course syllabus and the academic calendar. 2 documents that I've asked you to print out and we'll take a look at here in a minute. During the week of an exam, I will supply you with a study guide, a practice test, and that will help you get ready for the test. No exams can be taken after the deadlines as seen on the academic calendar. And, the math department here at Lakeland has a policy that all tests and exams be proctored. That's why you're taking them in the testing center. And folks, no surprise, you're in college algebra. You know by now the best way to do math or to learn math is to do math. So the best way to prepare for the test is to complete the homework to practice exercises. That completing the homework to practice exercises for each section will get you the necessary practice. Actually, it'll give you the practice to do well on the online quizzes. And that in turn prepares you to do well on the tests. Look at this. Next topic is online quizzes. Due dates for each online quiz you'll see on the academic calendar and the course syllabus. 2 documents you should print out. Sections covered for each quiz are listed on the academic calendar and the course syllabus. You're going to have 12 total quizzes, and each quiz is worth 10 points. So your total quiz score for the class is 120 points. And as I just mentioned, the best way to prepare for online quizzes is to complete the homework to practice exercises. Um, each quiz has a maximum of 3 attempts, and then once you begin a quiz, you must complete it in its entirety. So this is your brief overview, online orientation, a document that you should print out. And let's look at the other documents that I said you should have a hard copy of. Protocol for sending email. I'm not going to read through this other than to make sure that you have my email address. It's here in item number 1. And in item number 3, I'm just asking you to identify yourself. I do have a lot of students, and so if you could just start off an email with a sentence just by identifying yourself. Like I am June Johnson, and I'm a student in your Math 1650 College Algebra online course. Just a brief introduction, helps save me a lot of time. When it comes to email, folks, I check my email, several times a day. I can almost guarantee if you send me an email, you'll get a response from me within 24 hours. Usually it's much sooner than that, but at the absolute max, within 24 hours, I will reply to your email. Now, if you send it late at night, like 2 in the morning, you'll still get a reply within 24 hours, but don't expect an immediate reply. I'm not up quite that late. And also on the weekends, if you send one, late Friday night, I'll try to get to it on Saturday because I always try to reply within 24 hours. But just keep in mind it might be a little different on the weekend. But I'll let you read through this on your own. State your question clearly and completely. But that's the protocol for sending email document that I've asked you to please print this out and have a hard copy of it at hand. Here's your course syllabus. Let's check that out next. Yes, you should print this out. Not going to read through the entire course syllabus because you all can do that on your own. Let's, you should have your MyMathLab access code. Lakeland Blackboard site, it is not going to be used for this course. I'm going to do everything at Pearson's MyMathLab. It has everything that we need there. I have as an optional course material the EText reference. Excuse me. And again, it's just optional. Not that you absolutely have to have that because everything's online. The EText is online. That's why it's called an EText. Graphing calculator, TI 83, 83 plus, 84, 84 plus. Any of those are fine calculators. Grading. Let's see, you're going to have 3 tests worth 120 points each. The final exam's worth 120 points. And your quizzes add up for a total of 120 points. I have here a table showing you the tests and when the deadline is, and the assigned sections for each test. You are going to see numerous times deadlines for tests and quizzes pop up. I can't stress enough that it's mentioned right here. The deadline dates shown on the academic calendar. That is another document we will look at, and a document that you should have a hard copy of. You're going to be responsible for knowing these deadline dates. But here it's just repeated once again. So you should know when you're going to have deadlines for your tests coming up and the sections that are covered. General test notes. I'll let you read through these 6 items. Notice number 5, the deadline dates for each test are in the academic calendar and in the prior table. They're also going to appear in the weekly announcements the week before the deadline date. It's called, redundancy. You're going to see this over and over many times. pretty much there'll be no excuse for missing a deadline because you've been told to print out the academic calendar. It's going to appear in the weekly announcements, deadlines for everything. So, I don't think that should be an issue, but just making sure we're clear on that. Here are the hours during the summer for the testing center, the days that they're open and the hours that they're open. Testing policies, please read this carefully. They adhere to these rules. More on your syllabus, online quizzes. I've already talked about that. There are 12 of them. Here in a minute, I'll take you to the online quiz area at the MyMathLab site, so you'll see what that looks like. Notice online quiz note 1, each online quiz has a deadline shown on the academic calendar, and it's even shown in the table below. That's that redundancy I'm talking about. So just skimming through the syllabus, which you should print out. Here's the redundancy that I'm talking about. Here's the table showing you each quiz, the deadline date, and the sections covered for each quiz. Final exams, 120 points. The deadline to complete the final exam is shown on the academic calendar. So there's that academic calendar mentioned again. Here's the point distributions, the grading scale I use to determine your final grade, and how I assign course grades, just a few items that you could read over. More here on the syllabus, some general course tips. I do not collect homework problems. Tests, your final exam, they're going to have problems similar to the homework. So really, completing the section by section homework to practice exercises listed, it is probably the single vital element to having success in the course. I have general course tip number 2 listed here of keep up with assigned sections and associated exercises. Do not let it build up. By the nature of my deadlines, it's really hard to let too much build up, because deadlines come and then they go. But please keep up with the work. I'll let you read through the rest. Learning the course material. I have a 4-step, what I call cycle of learning. So, go to the MyMathLab site, get into the ebook. We'll look at the ebook here in a minute. It says while reading the ebook, you're going to have links to videos and animations by the author. His name's Kirk Trigstead. Watching these animations and videos, they should help you with the practice exercises and the homework. And then we'll look at the stuff that you try at practice problems that are in the ebook. Online quizzes. So again, I'm letting you read through it. Please note the acknowledgement of the syllabus statement here, and that you will need a password to take quiz 1. And quiz 1 is the only quiz that requires a password. But that password, when you enter that password, you're saying that you've read the course syllabus, you understand it, and you're going to abide by it and its contents. So that's the course syllabus. Let me close it out. That's a document that, yes, you should print out, but let me close it. And now let's check out the academic calendar. All right, so here's the academic calendar that has been referenced, well, many times so far. I've mentioned it several times. This is, yes, something that you should print out, have a hard copy of, and just know it. Always be able to find it and reference it. Notice on the academic calendar, I have every quiz deadline indicated. So quiz 1 has a deadline of Friday the 13th, June 13th at 11:55. Quiz 2 has a deadline of Wednesday, June 18th at 11:55 p.m. Quiz 3 has a deadline of Sunday, June 22nd, 11:55 p.m. And the deadline to complete test 1 is Monday, June 23rd. Whenever the hours for the testing center are. So, you see, once you complete quiz 1 in week 1, you really do need to get started on the sections that I indicated in the weekly announcements, so that you're getting moving on the material that will be on quiz 2. It's a fast-paced course. It's only 8 weeks long. This is normally a 15-week semester course. So, we go at roughly twice the speed of a regular college algebra class during a fall or spring semester. But this is the academic calendar. Please have a hard copy of it. Please have all these deadlines. Make sure you know them. Make sure you know when things are due. And note that when the deadline to complete the final exam is. The second page, I scroll down a little further, is, again, showing you quizzes and the assigned sections for each quiz, and the tests and what sections will be on each test. So this is redundancy again. We've already seen these two items, the quiz and section coverage and the test and section coverage, that's been already given to you in the syllabus. So, you're seeing it again. But please print this out, and let me close the academic calendar, and let's move on to the next document that I said you should print out, which is the homework problems. So after you check out a section in the EText, here are the homework problems that you should try for practice. And they're not submitted; I don't collect them. So once you do read through the text, section 1.1, look at the videos, animations, etc. On screen 1.1-13, that's where the homework problems begin, or I call them practice exercises. And I'm saying for section 1.1, you should know how to do 1 through 21 odd. So got things jumping around there. Sorry. Make sure you know how to do 1 through 21 odd. Then section 1.2, the homework starts. It starts on EText screen 1.2-22. Make sure you know how to do 1 through 15 odd. So this is another document that I recommend printing out because it shows you each section and the homework problems to do in each section. So let me close this out. So that just to recap, you should print and have a hard copy of your online orientation, the protocol for sending email, the course syllabus, the academic calendar, and your list of homework to practice exercises. Now, there's one more item here in the course information tab. It's the answers for the homework to practice exercises. I don't think I would print out a copy of this because, oh man, I don't know, it's maybe 60 pages long. But I just wanted you to see where it is and what it is. This says it's 38 pages long. It's just basically the answers to the homework problems. So if we don't do anything in chapter R, that's a review chapter. We start off in chapter 1. The homework problems that I had listed there. Here are the answers for the homework problems I've listed. Notice it gives the answers for the odd and the even as well. So that's how you're going to know if you did your homework problems correctly. Do the problem and come to this document and check your answer real quickly. So that, close that out. That's your EText homework to practice exercise answers here in the course information area. All right, let me come back to the course home page. So I click course home, and quick recap. Whenever you log in, you could always go to the announcements and always see what the weekly announcements are by clicking here or clicking here. Let's look at the online quizzes. So over here, you see online quizzes. If I click on that, in the online quiz area, you will see stuff here at the bottom. Don't even worry about that. These are the assignments or the online quizzes. And again, you can see when their due dates are. So this is more of that redundancy. It's built in. And you have 3 attempts. So it says 0 of 3 attempts. So when you're ready to do a quiz, you've done all the work, you're ready to do a quiz, you click on your online quizzes and you come in, and whichever quiz you're ready to do, you just click on the quiz and you'll be ready to take the quiz. It will start your attempt on that quiz. And that's where you find your online quizzes. Let me come back to the course home. Tools for success. Let's see what they have in there for you. I guess if you want to do something with graphing calculators, that's kind of cool. Hey, gradebook. This is something you'll want to check out. This is where I'll put your test scores. This is where your online quiz scores will automatically be uploaded to. So this is where you can come in and check to see what your grade is. Looking over here. Oh, some of these things you can't see yet. Don't worry about. I'm the administrator for the site, so of course I see everything here. But let's look at your Test 1 preparation. I have that available for you right away, mainly so I could show you what's in it. As I mentioned, I'll always give you information a week before a test is due, the deadline for a test. So here, the Test 1, we're looking at the Test 1 preparation tab. General things you will see. It's a Test 1. I'll give you a study guide. So Test 1 study guide, it's a PDF. So if you click on that, there's a little bit of, English up here. Might want to make sure you know it. I don't want to, skim over it, but this is important stuff. But I wanted to get to the table to show you what the study guide would look like. It'll show you the section. For this one, I do it differently for each test, but for this test, I give you the section, the objective, and then I have over here, here are a couple of problems to practice. If you know how to do these problems, you'll be fine on the test. So that's what the study guide looks like. I even give you a practice test. And in this practice test, this has 15 numbered items, I believe. So it's like an actual test to take to give you an idea of what to expect when you actually take the real test. And at the end of this practice test, I have answers for the practice test. And back over here, I have a YouTube video working through some of the items on the practice test. So, I always have this note here. I would watch in full screen mode, and I'd have my settings in high definition. So let's click on this. And that's me.
Hey folks, Bill Armstrong here. Even though I supplied you answers for the practice test,
here's where you can set your
I thought I'd work through
settings.
solutions for some of these items, so you can see the work through solutions as well as the answers. Here in number 1, you were asked to solve this linear equation, and what I would do in solving this is I would multiply both sides of the equation by the least common denominator of all the fractions I see. And when I look at this equation, you see a denominator of 3, denominator of 4.
I'm going to stop that. You don't need to hear me babble on and on anymore. But I'll generally do that for each test. I'll give you a study guide. I'll give you a practice test, and I'll give you a link to a YouTube video showing, some work through how I would work through the problems to come up with the solutions or to come up with the answers. All right, so back to the basics here. There's your, we've looked at your course homepage. It's what you see whenever you log on. The announcements, to check that. Course information has important documents you should be printing out. You've seen where the online quizzes are. Gradebook, that's where you see your current grade. Preparation tabs, Test 1 preparation tab. The other ones we've made available as in a timely fashion. Now let's get to the heart and soul of the course itself. the EText. So I clicked on the EText, and I'm going to click on View the EText. And this is really where the magic is for you to learn the material. Over here on the left, it shows you the chapters. So, since you're starting in Chapter 1, Section 1.1, that's where I'll start to show you the important features of the EText. So notice I click on that arrow to open up, and I can see each section. I'm going to start in Section 1.1, and in Section 1.1, scroll down, it's showing me the objectives for the section. That's good. Notice up here is how I can go through the EText. So I'm going to click on Next Page. And when I click on the next page, I can start reading through. It's like I'm reading the book. Things that are going to run you through the important features of the text now. Things that are highlighted like this, algebraic expression. You see it's highlighted? Well, if I click on it, a little box will open up giving me a definition of what an algebraic expression is. So it's kind of a reminder. It helps me remember things. Here's an actual definition box. Scrolling down, first item we hit, which I think is an awesome feature of this EText, are the interactive videos. The interactive videos are different than the regular videos, which we'll see one of those in a minute. And then an interactive video, you have to answer questions along the way. So let me just show you. I really think these are cool. So let me show you an example of the interactive video. So this is, I could click here, determine if equations are linear or nonlinear, or I could click here and notice it pops up, determine if equations are linear or nonlinear. Same thing, but it's the same interactive video. But let's check it out.
Which of the following is not a linear equation? Click on the equation which you think is not a linear equation.
Okay, so I have to do something, hence this is why it's called an interactive video. So I click on which one of these I think is not a linear equation. Okay, since I know I know that is a linear equation, I'm going to go ahead and click on it so we can see what the interactive video would do next.
Actually, this is a linear equation, and let's take a look to see why. First of all, our equation consists of constants and variables raised to the first power. Our variable is x, and in both cases, our x is raised to the first power.
Okay, that was enough to get so you could see the idea. I clicked something that was wrong, and that's going to tell me why I was wrong. But now I should go back, and then it's still the same question. Which of the following is not a linear equation? Okay, I know B is not a linear equation. Let's click on it and see what happens.
Very good. This equation is not a linear equation. Now remember, every linear...
I think that's enough. It's going to explain why, but I got it correct. So I'm going to close this. That's an interactive video. You have to interact with the video to keep going. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful feature of the text. Several times I mentioned this in my cycle of learning. As you read through, you're going to see this little icon, the You Try It, and it says work through this You Try It problem. Or you could go work exercises 1 through 7 in this textbook. That's the EText. But I'm going to go ahead and click on the You Try It exercise. And it's opening up what it's opened up. Determine whether the given equation is linear or nonlinear. So what I just did, what I just was reading in the EText, the interactive video I just looked at, a You Try It exercise I've clicked on is reinforcing this idea. It's reinforcing this concept to verify, to really help me make sure I understand. So I'm given an equation, and it says this equation is, and there's a blank. But if I click on the arrow, I say, hey, that equation is linear. I come down here to check my answer, and it says, good job, Bill. And I'll click OK. If I feel like I need more practice, I will click on similar exercise, and it'll give me another one. And I'll say, this equation is linear. Check my answer. All that time it told me fantastic. I click OK. When doing these you try it's, if you ever get stuck with it or stuck on the problem, you could come over here and you could click on help me solve this or view an example. Many features here to help you learn the material. So let me close that you try it, and let me go to the next page of my eText. Notice it's telling me I'm on page 1.1-3, and it's just like reading a textbook. Oh, coefficients, it's highlighted. So it's like, well, I could always click on that real quick to remind me what a coefficient is, just to review that. Distributive properties highlighted. But I'm going to go through kind of quickly here. I'm just kind of reading through. I could check, well, yeah, I'm not going to, you can click on that if you want. Okay, so example 2, I'm reading how to solve a linear equation with integer coefficients. It's just like what you would see in a traditional textbook. I'm going to the next page. Here's a you try it. So again, I could click on here and do an example. Do an example of what I just read, reinforce the material. But I'm going to click through. Oh, here's what I wanted to see. Example 3 has a little video icon by it. This is not an interactive video. Different icon. Looks similar, but it has a little different icon to it. The interactive video that we saw at the beginning of the section required us to do stuff. We had to interact with the video. This video is going to be a video showing the author working through the solution to this equation. So it's this example, and you can read through the example, but it's going to show the author working through it. So kind of like what you would see in a traditional classroom. So I click on it.
In this video, we're going to learn how to solve linear equations involving fractions. Here we have a linear equation. We know that it's linear because our variables all have a power of 1 and they all appear in the numerators. Now, to solve a linear equation involving fractions, the first thing that you have to do is find the lowest common denominator, or the LCD. Now, in this case, the lowest common denominator is 6, because 6 is the smallest number that both 3 and 2 will both divide into.
Okay,
so
I think that's enough.
Is multiply
pause this video. I just wanted you to get a feel, get a flavor for the actual video itself. You see the author of the text, working through a problem, kind of like what you would expect to see in a traditional classroom. And that's a little different from the interactive video, but it's a pretty awesome feature. Let me turn the page, and video icon, the word video, it's the same video we just saw. Here's another you try it. So I bet this you try it is a practice problem very similar to the example we just looked at. But let's see. Yep, sure enough, solve the equation. Look, there are fractions running amok. You know what? I wanted to make sure we understand, especially for the online quizzes, you have to enter the answers. You have to enter them exactly correct. So for example, here, I've worked this one out, and the correct answer for this problem is x equals 3/47. It says select the correct choice below, and if necessary, fill in the answer box to complete your choice. So I have to fill in this answer box. So I have to click in here, and notice now there's the cursor's blinking in here. How do I get 3/47? Well, it says type an integer or a simplified fraction. So I have to make sure my 3 over 47 is simplified. Very specific directions, which it is. Well, how do I get that fraction in there? Well, I'm going to use this palette over here. So here's how I get the fraction 3 over 47. Now I type in a 3, and then I can hit tab, 47, tab. So it's showing the fraction 3 over 47. I'll check my answer, and it says, sorry, that's not correct. So it's like I screwed up. And yeah, I did screw up. But notice what it's telling me. Sorry, that's not correct. But then it's telling me little hints. First, clear the fractions by multiplying both sides by the least common denominator. Then use algebraic properties to isolate x and solve. So that's kind of nice. It's telling me what to do. It's telling me how I screwed up. So let's see if I can get the correct answer in here now. Oh, I did the wrong problem. I think it should be. Let's try again. Let me try to enter the correct answer. Whoops. I should be able to come in here, and I think it was a 4/17. Maybe not. Hey, look at that. Well done. So it's kind of cool to recap. It's kind of nice that I actually did the wrong problem to get the incorrect answer. Kind of nice that happened because it showed you that if you do type in something that's incorrect when you do one of these you try it's, it tells you, it doesn't just tell you you're wrong, it gives you a little bit of a guidance on what you should be doing to get the correct answer. So that's nice that you got to see that. So a good thing I did the wrong problem and put in an answer for a different problem that was incorrect because we got to see that. But it's always nice to see that we did the problem correctly and told me well done. So let me close that. Then let me close this out. That's your you try it. Nothing more down here. So let me turn the page. Remember my arrows up here. Here's a video. It's not an interactive video. That's just a video. It'd be a video showing the author working through this problem. And here's another you try it. I'm sure the you try it here would be very similar to this example. So you start to get the idea of how nice of a product this is, how tight of a package it is. You read, you see some interactive videos, or you see an example. There's a video showing you the solution to the problem. Then you try a problem just like it. It's a pretty tight package. I'm just going to keep clicking here. Just got the solution set. We should be coming up here. Here's another example 6. I should be coming up soon to the homework problems. Yeah, oh, look at this ugly equation. Definitely be watching the video on how to solve that one and doing the practice problem that you try it. Here we go. So when you want to do the homework, it's like page 1.1-13. And, I forget what I said the homework was. Like maybe I said 1 through 21 odd. Here they are. Here are the homework problems. And so you could try number 1. There's another you try it here, but you could try to do number 1. Work it out. See what you get for the answer. And remember, you could always go back and check your answer by where I had the answers in the course information area. So probably if it were me doing this as a student, I would probably have, to come back to the course information, I would probably have the ISM opened while I was doing the homework. ISM is a solution manual. So I would probably have it here to section 1.1. So I'm doing the homework. Determine whether the given equation is linear or nonlinear. So number one, that looks linear to me. Then I could come up here and click on the this tab where my answers are, and I could immediately know I'm correct. It is linear. So that's probably how I would attack it. But that's a quick overview of your eText and the different wonderful features in the eText. And we come back to the course homepage, and that's pretty much a brief overview, a quick rundown of the important features of how to prepare, how to go through the College Algebra online course. So quick recap. You log into the course, you come to this course homepage. Announcements. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. I will post a new announcement for the following week. It's your responsibility to know where these announcements are and to know all due dates that are coming up for quizzes and tests. Course information. I asked you to print out these 5 documents. Academic calendar. Well, it's the weekly schedule showing sections covered, due dates for quizzes, and all tests. You know, it is your responsibility to know the due dates for all quizzes and tests and the final exam. It's listed here in the academic calendar. It's listed in the syllabus, and it'll be listed in the weekly announcements. On this tab here is where you find your online quizzes. And again, redundancy, showing you the due dates for each quiz. And of course, you can work ahead. I mean, all these quizzes are ready for you to take right now. Test preparation tabs over here, grade book there, and here's the read your eText tab. So that's pretty much it, folks. And I hope you found this video to be beneficial and you feel ready to attack the material for Math 1650 College Algebra Online. Thanks for watching.